If you aren't sick of the virus yet, you sure will be by the end of this video, because Iowa is now pausing all team activities, meaning that the Penn State and Iowa duel is off. That also means that Iowa may not wrestle another dual meet for the rest of the 2021 season. This is breaking news coming to us from Ross Bartonchak of IA Wrestle, of Iowa Wrestle. It was also confirmed by the Daily Iowan that Iowa Wrestling, the Iowa Hawkeyes, are pausing all team activity. So this is a statement as it reads, broke tonight on Twitter. At the direction of the University of Iowa medical team, the Iowa Athletics Department announced Monday that the Iowa Wrestling program is pausing all team-related in-person activities in response to positive COVID-19 test results within the program. Iowa will continue to follow Big Ten Conference medical protocols, and the medical team will make a determination on return to activity. Iowa's duel at Penn State, scheduled for Friday, February 12th, has been postponed out of abundance of caution surrounding the health and safety of the participants. The institutions will work with the conference to identify rescheduling options. So it's official, it's happening, that there will be no Iowa and Penn State duel in this upcoming weekend. Will we get it by the end of the year? Maybe. I have serious doubts about that for multiple reasons. I'll get into that as we talk a little bit about what is going on within the Iowa wrestling program. So there's been a lot going on with the virus in the Iowa wrestling program recently. You may know that a couple of guys have been off the roster over the last couple of weeks, including Alex Marinelli, Caleb Young, and even head coach Tom Brand. So Marinelli was out with the virus. We're not sure if him and Caleb Young actually have it. The statement actually says they're being withheld from competition following COVID-19 protocols. So they may have it, they may not have it. I honestly don't even believe that's any of our business whether the guys have it or not. I'm surprised that Iowa even releases these statements. But Marinelli had it on January 31st. Brands got it on February 4th. At least this is around where they tested positive and released these statements. They could have had it before then. And Caleb Young on February 7th. So these guys actually haven't wrestled in the past couple of duels. Marinelli didn't wrestle a couple weeks ago due to this. And the thing about this is that current league's health and safety protocols dictate that all student athletes that test positive must be sidelined for 17 days. And then after that, so they're sidelined for 17 days. They're in isolation or quarantine or whatever during that time, but they also have to do a strict amount of tests to make sure that they are actually able to compete. So I know that a lot of questions are going to arise out of this. So one being, is this just horrible news for the program? Are we going to see the Iowa Hawkeyes the rest of the season? Two, is Iowa just pulling out because they're afraid of Penn State? Without Marinelli and Caleb Young, they wouldn't be able to take them on. They're afraid to lose. I know that's another statement we're definitely going to see a lot of. And to answer a couple of those, so one, because of the fact that Iowa has had these issues leading up to this, leading up to a complete program pause of activities, no, I don't think they're doing it just to get out of wrestling Penn State. I mean, one, they're the clear favorites this year to win the dual meet and the NCAA tournament. They're not doing it because they're afraid of Penn State. I don't think they are afraid of Penn State. I think that's just a bad sentiment. So is there good news to actually come out of this? I'm going to tell you what could be good. So the bad news is we're not going to get the duel this weekend. The duel has been postponed, just like the Michigan duel against each of these teams. And I actually think that maybe it's possible that we could see Iowa and Penn State and Michigan tri-meet. Oh my gosh, what a tri-meet that would be, to actually decide who the real Big Ten champs are, because at this point, you can't decide. You don't know which team is the best dual meet team because they haven't actually wrestled. Yes, Iowa has been dominating, but what would happen if they wrestled Penn State? What would happen if they wrestled Michigan? We got to let them wrestle. I'd love to actually have the tri-meet. But Iowa only has a couple more upcoming weekends of competition. Northwestern on February 19th and Wisconsin on February 21st. But right now, this is within the 2-week span of the competition that we may not actually even be able to see another Iowa duel the rest of the season. And for Iowa Hawkeyes fans, that's super, super upsetting. Now, is there time before the end of the year that we could see them wrestle? So if the last duel was supposed to be February 21st in the upcoming weeks, well, Big Tens aren't supposed to be until March 6th. So that gives a little window that we could see the Iowa Hawkeyes actually wrestle against Penn State or Michigan or both teams. It's possible, but the truth is I don't see this happening. I think that these teams really see, there's already been questions about whether how worth it the dual meets are. When it comes to guys' safety and injuries, they don't want to have guys getting injured in dual meets before the big show, before the Big Tens, before the NCAAs. So why would they wrestle in this dual meet if it doesn't? As fans, yeah, it means a lot. We're super excited. We want to watch these teams compete and go head-to-head. We want to see these matchups ahead of Big Tens and NCAAs. Now, the good news is that we could see these guys return. We could see all the Hawkeyes return before the Big Tens. But if they can't, if Iowa actually legitimately cannot wrestle in the Big Ten championships, at least they will have some time before NCAAs, because there's still a possibility that even if they don't wrestle Big Tens, they can actually wrestle in the NCAAs. They can actually receive bids, depending on past criteria or certain criteria, depending on past wins, having 4 wins this season, having the dominant wins. And I think a lot of these guys will get bids. They may not receive the top seed because they haven't wrestled full matches or wrestled the Big Ten championships, and that will be yet to be determined. So this is super unfortunate news coming out of IA Wrestle. I have all sources linked down below if you're interested in checking them out. But please let me know what you think. How bummed are you about this? I'm just beyond flustered and annoyed right now. Super upset. I wanted to see this duel. Hope everybody's safe within the Iowa Hawkeyes wrestling program, though.